What is up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It has been quite some time. My name is Jack, aka Mr. Wolfie, and if you guys have never seen my face before, then I'm sorry that it's finally happening now. It's just one of these difficult things in life that we have to overcome. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic today. If you guys are coming back to the channel after a long break, I have not put out a video in quite some time. I've been very busy. And yeah, that's a story for itself, but regardless, we're here with Digimon World Next Order. This has been a long time coming, and it's just something that I fancy doing recently, so we're going to have so much time to talk over the bazillion episodes that await this journey. So rather than sit about on the homepage for ages, I'm just going to click straight in and dive right into the game, and then we can catch up as we go. So the first decision we have to make here is whether we're going to choose easy, normal or hard. Now, this is a topic in itself, and I'm going to talk about this at large later, because if you've watched any of our last Let's Plays, we always jump onto hard mode. But for this time around, we are going to pick normal, and there is a specific reason for this, okay? As I said, I'll talk about this in a bit more detail later on, so I'm going to come back to that. This time around, we have the choice whether we want to play as a male or female protagonist, which is kind of cool. When I played through this game before, I picked Takuto, okay? Which makes me want to pick Shiki this time around, but with that being said, I'm still gravitating back towards this little dude. Don't know why, just going to play as this. It just feels like home, and for all the Shiki lovers out there, I am super sorry, but it's just the way it is for this playthrough. I am going to name myself Wolfie, because I'm pretty sure that is my YouTube persona name, but you guys can call me Jack if you want, or Fuzzbag, or Heed the Ball, or whatever tickles your fancy. Anyways, we're here in our first little intro montage, kind of opening cutscene, I guess. So I'm just going to let you guys watch that. And it was at this point he knew he fucked up. And that looked very sore on the old glutes. What happened? So, as with every other Digimon game under the sun, we have been thrown back into the digital world. Our main protagonist has been thrown back into the digital world. And here we are, at long last, in an area that looks randomly like the MGS1 virtual reality training mod. I don't know, I'm pretty sure I've made a reference like that before, but look at it, looks like MGS1. Maybe that's just me. So, where am I? We have no idea. Our character has no idea what's going on. But here's two very big clues. Two metal and badass looking clues. Two familiar Digimon await us at the end of this open random ass hallway. You can't do anything here other than run directly forward, but yeah, it's just the game's way of giving you a kind of shot at the controls, I guess. Like, you kind of figure out how your character moves and all that good stuff. And we do actually have yet another cutscene, so I'm going to disappear. Because something big and evil looking is materialising in front of us. Obviously, it can only be a machine Digimon. Looking extremely evil. And slightly hungry. What a good looking dude. You know he pulls all the ladies. Alright, I don't know how... So I'm going to come back in here because there's a lot of things to kind of talk about. In fact, let me put myself up here because I'm going to cover up a lot of the dialogue. There's a couple of things we're going to be able to talk about in the due course of us playing through this game, and this is a tutorial, so I'm going to dive through this as fast as I can and kind of talk to you guys about what's happening along the way. There are other things that I want to talk about, such as Next Order as a game. I want to talk about my webcam position in this game and all of this kind of jazz, the difficulty as I mentioned a minute ago. But for now, we're just going to go along and kind of click through this to kind of keep it flowing, okay? So Wolfie, are you okay? We've got Metal Garurumon and War Greymon here, looking, as I said earlier, extremely good looking. Especially with the colour schemes in Next Order, they just look pretty good, in my opinion. So, again, our character is completely clueless. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and our Digimon are telling us that we have to issue them battle commands. So here is our introduction to the battle system in Next Order, which, although the game's trying to give us all these indications of how to play and whatnot, I'm going to talk you guys through it anyway. So, if you have played any of the other Digimon World games, I guess specifically Digimon World 1, because that is predominantly what this game is kind of modelled after, excuse me. basically your Digimon will fight on their own, okay? But then in addition, when they made this game, they have also added in the feature of being able to also issue your Digimon commands. So that is what the game is trying to get us to do here. It's teaching us that you can use L1 and R1 to open up your individual Digimon, okay? So again, if you guys have played this before, you'll know what's going on. But for those of you that haven't, this is basically how the combat goes. Because in the first Digimon World game, your Digimon would just wander around the screen and you would have buttons to click, but they weren't really that important. It was all about your Digimon's stats and its own abilities and how they kind of choose to fight the battle for the most part, until you got really strong later on in the game. But anyways, we're back in Next Order. We have this additional feature of the power mode, okay, which is this extra energy source that your Digimon can use, and it's the way that you give your Digimon commands, okay? So they have MP, they have like points and energy in battle, but in addition, the player can use this power tool in order to issue commands as well. So that's what we're going to do here. So up in the top left, you'll see the power gauge filling up, and that's what I'm going to be spam clicking for the most part. For a long time when I played through this game, I didn't realise that if you actually wait and time your time the enemy attacks and your own attacks, you would get a lot more points sooner. So I don't think we can necessarily die at this point of the game, but we're just basically gathering up power points, and you know, the game's kind of letting us play about with this kind of feature. So now that we have enough energy, we can do a big ass special move, which is to hit L1 and R1 together. And oh, in fact, we're not even at that bit yet. I'm jumping ahead of myself. You have special abilities or limit breaks in this game, and this is Wargreymmon's Terra Force, looking extremely colourful and extremely badass. Sending this dude on his butt, I think. Oh yeah, okay. So we get a minor break in the battle here, and this is what I was just mentioning a second ago when I was jumping ahead of myself. So even though we're giving it all we've got in this battle, our Digimon are finding it pretty tough to get through, so we're going to need to try something new. And this is a new excuse me. This is a new feature that they added in this game, and if you ask me, it's very, very cool, because the first time I saw this, I didn't even know it was, you know, they kind of show you it here, but you have this extra ability to EXE Digivolve, and they show you it in the tutorial, but for the most part, I didn't know this was here in the game for a long time, and when I actually got it off, it feels really good. So this is a big feature that we will not have access to until later on in the game. I guess the developers just wanted to show all the players who are playing through this part of the game that this is a thing you can do later on. You get this very nice little kind of music montage to go with these scenes. It's always the same, but obviously your Digimon will be different, and the Digivolution process is normally the same, but changes depending on who you're going to change into, I guess. But it's cool, it's just a nice feature. The music's going to go a bit wild here, and we're just going to have to go along with it. It's not bad, but when you've heard it a couple times already, you know, it kind of starts to, at least for me, you know, I still get, you know, there's still a bit of a, that was pretty epic kind of feeling, but it does kind of, you know, alright, okay, we're here again. We'll just go with it. I'll try my best not to talk through all of this cool stuff, but anyways, here we are now Omegamon. This is his limit break or special ability, and it is insanely cool. It's going to knock, again, Jijimon flat on his ass. Success! With the EXE, two partner Digimon will become one and will have more power than usual. But then the game also tells you that, you know, don't get too excited, because after the battle finishes, you will split back into your partner Digimon. So don't get disappointed when that happens. Now somehow, after all this, Jijimon is still going ham salad, hits us with his own limit break, which is Infinity Cannon, and that really fucked us up big time. So here we go. We're almost done, guys. This is it. Is almost out of the tutorial, and then we will actually be able to play the game a little bit. So here we go. So our two buddies are getting messed up, something chronic here. I think they're actually going to split back. In fact, this is a really cool cutscene, so I'm going to disappear and let you guys see this in film. So badass. They really did nail the visuals of this cutscene. It's pretty good. Not to fanboy out a little bit, but it's pretty good. When you play JRPGs, sometimes the graphics tend to swing. This is just my own personal experience. The graphics tend to swing between absolutely phenomenal and, you know, not always such. I guess that's just the case for video games in general, but I feel like for this cutscene in this game in general, most of the time, they put a lot of effort into some of these little bits, so it's nice to see. Definitely nice if you're a Digimon fan anyway. But here we are. We knocked Jijimon back out of his current form into what looks like a Taomon lying unconscious on the ground. I don't know how that little bastard ended up causing us so much trouble, but he did. Don't worry about us, we're partners. Our guys are exhausted, and it also looks like they are going to disappear as well. So, if we were confused before, we are extremely confused now. Why did Jijimon attack us? Where are we? Who are those dudes? Do you know what? I think we need a little old hairy guy to explain everything to us. That's what we need. So here, let's move our webcam again. This is Jijimon. If you guys have played Digimon World 1, you will know who Jijimon is. But if you don't, this guy is basically going to act as our guide and mentor through the entirety of the game. He is like the chieftain leader of the town that we live in, and he is basically going to explain everything. He's going to tell us everything that's going on, and we're going to help him out as a result. So yeah, very, very similar to Digimon World 1. I probably will find myself referencing that game quite a lot, but it's just because the two games are quite similar. Not entirely, but they have a lot of you know, core mechanics kind of the similar or the same, and Jijimon being our kind of boss is one of those. So here we go. I didn't actually know until I played through this game, but Jijimon is actually I think it's an Ultimate or Mega Digimon. Can't remember, but I'll put it up on the screen for you guys just to make sure that I'm correct. But yeah, so here we are. One thing that, again, another similarity is the egg selection screen music. Digimon World 1, this is the exact same soundtrack, but they have remastered it for this game. And when I heard that the first time I played this, my mind was just like, it was all over the carpet. But anyways, now we can choose to give birth to our Digimon partners. And we have lots of eggs to choose from, and we actually get 2, because in this game we have 2 partners. So I haven't thought about this. I don't know what I'm going to do this time around. I think what we'll do is take a Koromon egg, just because it seems natural. We are going to be at the screen multiple times throughout this playthrough, so if I don't pick an egg that you guys want right now, don't worry about it, because, as I said, we're going to get a chance to do a tour of all the eggs, most likely. It's just the way the game works. And here we go, we have our first little Digimon, Botamon, looking extremely cuddly. As we know though, Botamon isn't going to last very long as a baby. He's going to evolve very soon. I think we will give this guy a nickname. Let's call this guy Finn. Don't know why, it's just happening. And now we have our other egg. I'm not going to take this one. This is the Gabumon egg, as I like to call it. I'm not going to choose that one because that would be far too dry and bland for a playthrough. I think we will mix it up a little bit. We have these 2 extra eggs as well that I will quickly mention. These are DLC, and they're exactly the same as these 2 eggs, but they are voice acted by Japanese voice actors. Anyways, I think what I'm going to do is pick this egg because I normally like taking like plant bug Digimon, and as weird and fucking creepy as that sounds, it's just, I don't know, I think this is a good looking egg, and for the start off of the playthrough we're going to pick it and see how we go. And if our Digimon are shit, we don't have to worry about it too much because, as I said, we will be back here most likely in not too short a time. Unimon is going to be our second partner Digimon, for the start of the game at least. And we're going to give this guy a nickname as well. I think we will call this Digimon Alex. I've tried in both cases to pick 2 unisexual names because I don't know if these are going to digivolve into like male or female looking Digimon. Sometimes you see a Digimon and you just think, right, that's a girl. It's got to be, right? Not assuming genders. We've had this discussion before. Anyways, let's move on. Then the rebus will be complete. So Jijimon is telling us that our partners have been reborn again, and we're going to grow with them as we go through the game. Again, if you have no idea what's going on in this game, don't worry, I'm going to explain all about Next Order as we go. We're just trying to push through all this jargon just now as well. So Tokemon's here. This was the Jijimon, back in its current rookie form. And Tokemon's actually going to be, in fact, is Taomon going to be important? No, he's not. I'm getting mixed up already, so I'm just going to shut up. So you were sucked into the Digivice and unluckily fell into the dimension I created. Wasn't that fucking convenient? So you're the one we've got to blame for being sucked out. We were at home chilling, we were about to make our dinner, everything was going great, and now we're fucking in the digital world yet again. Obviously our character doesn't look too upset about that, but actually this world is at a crisis point. Well, that's fucking surprising, it always is when we turn up in the digital world. The city we are in, alright, okay, so the city is called, the English voice actors refer to the city as Floatia, right? Floatia. In my mind, that sounds absolutely disgusting. So I'm probably going to call it Floatia. I don't know why. When I read this before, I just referred to it as Floatia. But they call it Floatia. I'm sorry if you don't like that, but that just... I don't know. We are using Jijimon. We're using Japanese subtitles just now. And that's because when I first played through this game, I played it in English. Wanted to change it out. The English voice acting is fine. That's debatable. People will have different opinions on that, I'm sure. But for me, it didn't really bother me that much. But I thought for this time around, we're going to roll with the Japanese one. It just seems natural, in all honesty, because Digimon World 1, you play through that and it's all in Japanese. So I mobilised my knowledge and technology to build a trap in order to capture the Machine-Dramon. So Digimon's filling us in on what was going on in the start of the game. We don't have to click through too much of this right now, because there is quite a lot. Jijimon says, we were able to survive the time because blah blah blah, you appeared, I guess. Unfortunately, we don't know where and how the Machine-Dramon are appearing. It seems hopeless, but if we just had a clue, maybe we could do something. If only we had a clue. And here's Taomon. So this, I think, is where Jijimon realises that Taomon was actually the Machine-Dramon. So he's figuring that out just now. Basically, what Jijimon's going to tell us here is that we are going to go out into the world with our two partners, and we are just going to explore the massive open plains that is this game, okay? You can go wherever you want to a certain degree. There are caps just now in place, you know, to make sure that you don't wander into the biggest, baddest, ugliest fucking Digimon with your babies and get absolutely butt smashed, because that could happen. So there are, you know, there are some kind of little barriers here and there to make you not wander too far, but for the most part, this is an open world game. You can go wherever you like and do whatever you want in whichever order you want. That's, again, debatable. It's not necessarily true, but for the most part, you have free reign. And yeah, Jijimon is basically telling us that we need to go out, we need to recruit Digimon back to our little base town, this Floatia/Floatia, and that is basically the principle of the game. As we go on, we are going to get stronger and stronger, and we're going to recruit new Digimon to unlock new abilities in our kind of RPG journey, and that's pretty much it. That is why the game, to me, in particular, is so interesting, because at first you start with a handful of things that you can do, and then as you get stronger and as you choose to do whatever you want, your ability in the games get bigger and bigger. But anyway, enough from me. Maybe I will be able to unravel the mystery of this altered form. If we can detect abnormal information, we may be able to avoid further damage here. That's why I first intend to make a detective device. Or Digivice? I'm not sure what I said there. If I have any news, I will send you a Digimail. Yes, of course, the Digimail. That's something that you guys are going to get familiar with very soon. Yeah, Digimail. Okay, let's move on. So, for the most part, that is us. We now have control of our character. Koromon, good luck out there, Wolfie. It's not too much, but all of us gave you guys a bunch of items. So that's cool. Just, again, very much like the first game, we get Koromon as our item bro. And as we play through the game, we are going to be able to return here and get a bunch of stuff, which is awesome. And he's filling us in on how to play the game as well. So we're going to leave just now, and Taomon is going to tell us that, you know, wait, you're not done with your tutorials. And he offers to show us around the town, but I'm going to do that anyway, so we can tell this guy to go and relax a bit. And I'm going to show you guys. So here we are. This is Floatia, and for the most part, it's tiny right now. It is kind of shit. In all honesty, it's a bit of a dump. And there's not a lot going on. There's a lot of these kind of empty plots of land where eventually people will, or other Digimon will come back to the city and slot into. And we don't have that much going for us right now. So I'm just going to quickly talk you through. We have Digimon's house, which we have just came out of. We don't really have to go in there. We have the meat farm, which is arguably one of the most important buildings in the early game. And that's because Taomon here is going to give us our meat through the game. We can come back here every day and we can pick up meat from Taomon, because we are, as this is like an RPG, like pet simulator, I guess, we will have to feed and look after our Digimon. And if you didn't know that before you picked this game up, then yeah, you're in for a treat, because it's not just feeding our Digimon that we have to do. Anyways, this is probably the most important building in the early game, and that is the training hall. And in here we can do a number of things. We can use the bathroom. If our Digimon need the bathroom, we can rest. But most importantly, obviously, we can train up our guys to make them stronger. So if you let me jump down here a little bit, I'm going to show you guys how this kind of works. We're getting all of our rubbishy intro stuff, but if you push R1 or L1, you can see all of your partner Digimon stats. So looking at what we've got to begin with, it looks like Alex has a better amount of MP, so Alex has more energy, and in fact, Alex just looks generally better on the whole, but Finn has a little bit more HP, he's got a bit more in stamina and speed and whatnot. Normally, I find that in the early game, I want to be training speed and HP just because this game can be absolutely fucking merciless sometimes. And so, yeah, we're going to do this first and kind of try and help us sustain through the early battles and stuff. This feature is the Roulette Wheel. I'm talking really fast, guys, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm trying to get through the bonus bits. After we kind of engulf the beginning of this game, I will kind of chill out a little bit, but for the time being, we have a lot of stuff to get through, so I'm just going to talk a bit quicker than normal. But here we have the Roulette Wheel. This is a new feature, and it basically is, you know, it's a way for the player to kind of input a bit of skill into the Digimon's training, you know, add a bit of a skill gap here for players who are good at the Roulette Wheel. You're going to be able to train your Digimon faster. All it is when your Digimon are training, you have these critical squares. It doesn't matter which square you land on, but I didn't even push a button there, it just did that for me. If you land on a critical square, then you get an extra bonus of stats to your Digimon. So that's how that works. In this case, we get speed for Alex and we get HP for Finn. So for the time being, our Digimon are in baby form right now, so we're probably just going to do this a couple times over and try and get some training in here because our Digimon are about to digivolve. It won't take that much time. And then here we actually have our first opportunity to feed our Digimon, so let's do that real quick. So in Digimon World Next Order, you can, you know, feed your Digimon at the same time and stuff like that. You can select your Digimon individually to make it easier. I think here what we'll do is try and imprint meat onto our Digimon to try and make that their favourite food. That is something that you can do in this game. It looks like it's worked for Finn anyway. Yeah, Finn. So, okay, never mind. Both these guys have decided that meat is their favourite, which, you know, isn't an amazing thing, but at the same time, it's not too bad. Finn is being a little shit because his discipline is very low right now. Oh wow, that's a pretty good start. Basically, there's so much going on here that I'll have to talk about in different stages because, yeah, otherwise we're going to be here all day. But our Digimon are both fully fed, but they're also tired. So we're going to use Jijimon here to rest up a little bit. And I think that when we wake up, our Digimon will probably digivolve. But again, all of this is happening at once because the game wants to show you, you know, this is possible. You need to go over here to do this. When your Digimon are hungry, you go to the meat farm. When they blah blah blah, you know. So there is a lot happening. But here we have our first ever Digivolution, and yeah, we now have a Koromon, which is probably a good thing. And then on top of that, our other guy is going to go through the process of Digivolution as well. So we're coming up for about 22 minutes. I thought that for the first episode, I wanted to keep it a little bit shorter than normal, and then from here on, our episodes will probably go into the usual stage of, or the usual duration of about 40 minutes. When I do a playthrough on YouTube, that seems to be a good length, if you like, for everyone in general. And so, yeah, our second Digimon, wherever it is, has turned into Taomon. I think that's Taomon. It's been a while, but yeah. Okay, so we could wander out into the world right now, but what we're going to do is just train up a tiny bit more. I'm going to swap Alex over to HP, and I'm going to put Koromon on the speed training, and we're going to try this again. So I could probably explain about the training wheel and the squares involved, but at the same time, again, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, there's a bunch of things you can do in the game to add these extra critical squares, and if you push R1 and L1 on the screen, you can flick from your stats to this part and see what we've got going on. So because our Digimon are across from each other, you know, on this kind of diagonal line, then our HP and, well, Taomon is on HP, Koromon's on speed, we get a rival bonus. Because of the time of day, I guess we get a time bonus, and because they're both happy, we get a mood bonus as well. It's just some of the stuff that we can kind of discuss, but for the most part, we're just going to skim through this a little bit. I don't know if we're going to get up to rookie form in this episode, but I'm guessing that we will, most likely. And now our little dudes are hungry again. So the main reason I was hesitant to imprint meat on our Digimon as like their favourite food is because in the beginning we will have a very restricted access to meat. Whereas if we, as I throw meat at my Digimon by accident, we will have a restricted access to meat. Whereas if you can imprint mushrooms onto your Digimon, you can go out and collect those quite more freely in the world. It's, I mean, up for debate. I don't think it really matters too much, so we're just going to keep going. We could change this training up a little bit, but I do want to keep the HP stuff going. I think we could also add strength into the mix here somewhere, so let's put Koromon in the strength training, and then we'll keep Alex as our kind of baseline tank and see what happens. Get a bit more training in, and then we should eventually digivolve again, I think. We will probably need to go to sleep. Our Digimon will probably need to go to sleep. And, yeah. Right now we are spending a fuck ton of time in the training hut. You guys are seeing this for the first time. When your Digimon need the bathroom, you will have to go to one. They are dotted about the open world, and if you don't get to it in time, I'll leave up to your imagination what happens. But yeah, it's your Digimon take plants on the floor. That's just telling you that now, alright? That's just a thing that happens. We are spending a long time in this little training shack, so what I'm going to do is try and make this go a little bit faster. Because eventually our dudes will go to sleep, and when they wake up, I think it'll be Digivolution time. Or, yeah. So I'll just push through this again. We'll just keep going. What else was I going to speak about? Oh yeah, the difficulty in this game. We've selected normal mode, okay, and I'm glad that I remembered this because this is quite important and it's something that I wanted to discuss with you guys early on. Okay, so as I said earlier, when I played through the other Digimon playthroughs on my YouTube channel, we tend to gravitate towards hard mode, and if there was, I think it was Cyber Sleuth 1, we started on normal mode, we eventually then bumped up to hard mode, just because it's more challenging and I think it's more entertaining to watch as well when there's more on the line, when the game's a bit harder, blah blah blah. Now for Digimon World Next Order, when you change the difficulty, okay, it doesn't make the battles become harder, but what it does is slow down the rate at which you progress through the game. So when you gain stats from battles and your Digimon's life expectancy, they change depending on the difficulty, okay? So if you're on easy mode, you get the baseline of how much stat gains you get when you complete battles, okay? When you go up to normal mode, that halves, okay? Or I don't know if it's a direct half, but it reduces, okay? You get a lot less stats when you train, and if putting the difficulty down to normal means that we can, you know, see more of the game quickly and keep the playthrough a lot more streamlined, then that's just what I'm going to do. But anyway, that's that topic. If you guys want to ask any questions about it or talk about it down in the comments, then feel free. But here we have our first ever Digivolution, and I have no idea what these Digimon are going to be. It looks like Koromon is going into Black Agamon, so he will be our first rookie of the Let's Play. And if I'm not mistaken, our other Digimon should Digivolve here as well. Yeah, here we go. Again, I have not planned out any of these Digivolutions. I don't know what's an optimal set of rookies to have. That is the main difference between this playthrough and our Digimon World 1 playthrough. In that game, I kind of knew where I was going, I knew what I wanted to do. But for this time around, we're just freeballing it, okay? We're just doing whatever we want. So our first two Digimon are Black Agamon and Auroramon. Now, if I go into the partner screen, we can kind of look at these guys in a bit more detail. We have this little guy here, which is Auroramon, that's Alex. Kind of funny that he lined up with the A letter. And then Finn, we've got Agamon Black as Finn. Or Finn as Agamon Black. So that's pretty cool. The reason I felt that guides were necessary for this game is because sometimes it can be quite tough. You know, you can go into a battle that you've been training for and you can expect to do okay, and you get absolutely ass blasted. It's just the way the game works, and you know, at first it can frustrate a lot of people. I see a lot of people in my guides telling me that, you know, at first they were willing to give up on the game because they weren't enjoying it, blah blah blah, and it was too difficult. But then as soon as they learn the mechanics of the game, it unlocks it. It becomes so much more enjoyable. They can reach more parts of the world and they can do more in the game. All you have to do is kind of understand how the mechanics work, and once you get that down to a T, you will be absolutely fine, because this game can be really good fun once you get that behind you. So I'm going to just wrap up this training once more. We're going to, I think after we do like this one or the next one, in fact, I'm going to just push through and do another training here. Again, I don't know if this is an optimal way to do this, but this is what I want. Generally, I go for speed in the early game and HB, because again, it's going to let our Digimon attack faster and it's going to let them survive longer in the battle. So I'm pretty sure that is us almost done now. Once I put these guys to rest for an hour, and then they will come up from this, they will go to sleep, and then we should be able to start exploring the world a little bit more freely. So I'm going to go to sleep here, put these guys to bed, and when we wake up we will wrap up the episode. So I am extremely sorry guys that so Alex doesn't want to wake up. We're going to scold this guy, because when they do this early on, it's a great way for us to get our discipline up and unlock a bunch of info as well. So I'm going to go outside real quick. We're going to visit Taomon and grab our meat for the day so that these guys shut up and will let me talk to you. Here we go. So if I go into here, items, we'll select both our Digimon and feed them meat. Finn is hungry, so I'm going to give him a Digistock, because we will need meat later on. And for the most part, that is episode 1. I am extremely sorry, guys, that we spent all of our time inside the training hall, but for the beginning of this game, it's kind of recommended. I'm pretty sure that the characters in the game tell you don't leave the city until you're rookie form. You don't have to do that, but you will see in the next episode why we do that, because as I said just a moment ago, this game can be fucking relentless sometimes with the battles and the difficulty level. So hopefully we will get to see that a bit more in a bit more detail in episode 2, but there has been a lot jam-packed into this first episode, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. I have been trying to get over a lot of stuff and explain a lot of things to you, but we will of course have more time to do that as the series goes on, because I think, based on my previous experience with this game, it is quite it can take a good amount of time to get through this game. I mean, we kind of know what we're doing, but for the most part, I think it'll be quite a fun journey anyway, and we'll have time to discuss all the ins and outs as we go. So if you guys have anything that you want to ask me, if you have any discussion points or talking points or whatever, you let me know down in the comments, let everyone else know, fire me a rating, and yeah, do me whatever you want if that's what you want, and I will see you guys in the next episode. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in part 2. See you later.